Good morning, my fellow geography buffs. This is Ali, and welcome back to Urban Atlas. In today's video, we're going to be diving deep into the captivating world of islands. Specifically, I want to talk about one particular island. We all know that Greenland is the largest island in the entire world. But what is the largest uninhabited island in the entire world? Or what is the largest island with a permanent population of 0? Well, to find out the answer to that question, we must head to North America, specifically the Canadian Arctic Archipelago. Now, the Canadian Arctic Archipelago is a vast group of islands located in the northern part of Canada, primarily within the Arctic Circle. Now, this archipelago comprises of approximately 36,000 islands, and it is here that we can find the world's largest uninhabited island, that being Devon Island. Now, Devon Island is situated in the Canadian Arctic, lying between the Baffin Bay and the Arctic Ocean. It's part of the Nunavut territory of Canada. Now, Devon Island is extremely large. The island covers approximately 55,000 square kilometers, which is approximately 21,000 square miles. This is comparable to the country of Croatia. Now, to the southeast of Devon Island, we find Baffin Island. Now, Baffin Island is a large island in itself. It's the largest island within Canada. Interestingly, Baffin Island has a population of approximately 13,000 residents. And to the north of Devon Island, we have another major island, which is Ellesmere Island. Now, despite being a large island, Ellesmere Island has a population of only 144 residents. Now, if both Baffin Island and Ellesmere Island have people living on them, why doesn't Devon Island have any permanent residents? Well, that's because of Devon Island's history and geography. You see, historically, the Inuit people have lived on Devon Island. In fact, they've been living in the Arctic regions for thousands of years. Devon Island was first mapped by European explorers back in the 19th century. It was part of the larger exploration of the Arctic by figures such as John Ross and William Edward Parry. And in the mid-1800s, the island gained attention during John Franklin's expeditions to find the Northwest Passages. Though not a primary destination at the time, Devon Island was noted for its challenging conditions. Moving forward to 1924, an outpost called Dundas Harbor was established on the island. This was done to create a government presence in the area intended to curb foreign whaling and other activities. In 1933, the Hudson Bay Company actually leased the outpost from the Canadian government. The following year, in 1934, 52 Inuit were relocated from Kinigait, which is a nearby community, to Dundas Harbor. Most were relocated forcibly as part of Canada's High Arctic Relocation program. This was done by the Canadian government to assert sovereignty in Canada's high Arctic regions. Now, in addition to the 52 Inuit, there were also 3 RCMP officers that were relocated to this area. Within 3 years of the relocation, 2 of the officers were dead. The remaining officer and the Inuit family soon abandoned their isolated island, and thus the RCMP shut down the post in 1933. However, they once again reopened it in 1945. The outpost was shut down for good in 1951. Interestingly, archaeologists have found artifacts up to 4,000-year-old on Devon Island. These findings offer evidence of ancestral Inuit contact with the medieval Norse colonies of Greenland. Perhaps even more interesting is the fact that Asiatic artifacts have been found here too, denoting further northern trade routes with Asian communities. This indicates that there was once a thriving community on Devon Island. However, as of today, Devon Island sits completely empty, and a huge reason for that is Devon Island's climate. As you can imagine, Devon Island goes through some extreme temperatures. The island experiences long, bitterly cold winters with average temperatures often dropping below -30 degrees Celsius. In addition, Devon Island is located in a remote part of the Canadian Arctic Archipelago. Far from any other major population centers, its isolation makes it difficult for people to access and, of course, live on the island. There are no permanent or reliable transportation links to the island, and thus, this logistical difficulty deters permanent settlement. In addition to its isolation and extreme climate, Devon Island also lacks resources. Unlike other places like Baffin Island, Devon Island has very few freshwater sources, and thus this also makes it very difficult for human settlement. But in my opinion, the main reason that there's no human settlements on Devon Island is because of the existence of Grise Fjord. Like I previously mentioned, just to the north of Devon Island exists Ellesmere Island, and on Ellesmere Island we can find the community of Grise Fjord. Grise Fjord has a population of 144 residents, and it was created for the same reason that Dundas Harbor was created. It was created to assert Canadian sovereignty in the high Arctic regions. Established in 1953, Grise Fjord was created just 2 years after the closure of Dundas Harbor for good. I theorize that as the RCMP closed Dundas Harbor for good, they reattempted to assert sovereignty in the high Arctic regions by establishing Grise Fjord just to the north of Devon Island. And once Grise Fjord was established, there was no further need to create additional communities in the high Arctic regions of Canada. And thus the Canadian government gave up on trying to establish a community on Devon Island because it just wasn't necessary for them. They had a community already located to the north of Devon Island, which was Grise Fjord, and that was enough to assert their sovereignty within the high Arctic regions. Now, aside from the tragic history of Devon Island, the island itself has very unique geography. You see, Devon Island is notable for the presence of the Houghton impact crater. This was said to be created approximately 39 million years ago when a meteorite about 2 kilometers in diameter crashed into Devon Island. This left an impact of about 23 kilometers in diameter. And because of its dry, harsh climate, the Houghton impact crater is considered one of the world's best Mars analog sites. The island's freezing temperatures, isolation, and remoteness offers scientists endless research opportunities. And part of this research looks at determining how human explorers might live and work on planetary objects such as Mars. The researchers' primary goal is to utilize the Mars-like features of Devon Island and the impact crater to develop and test new technologies as well as operating procedures. This knowledge will be used in planning missions by both humans and robots to other terrestrial bodies in the future. And there you have it, the main reasons why I think Devon Island is the largest uninhabited island in the entire world is because of its climate, its isolation, and its lack of resources. However, in my opinion, the primary reason why nobody lives on Devon Island is because of the existence of Grise Fjord just to the north. The primary reason for the creation of these high Arctic communities is to assert sovereignty by the Canadian government in the high Arctic regions. And once the Dundas Harbor experiment of forced relocation failed, the government once again attempted the forced relocation, but this time to Grise Fjord. And because this forced relocation did not fail, the government had no further reason to continue trying to establish a community on Devon Island.
If you want to learn more about the Inuit forced relocation and why it's known as one of the darkest chapters in Canadian history, I'll leave a link in the description of different sources where you can find more about the Inuit forced relocation.
And if you guys like content like this, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel. It really helps me stay motivated to keep making thought-provoking and interesting content like this. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.